Oh, letting the bike get warmed up here. I am so done with this work week. Ready to go home. Let's get on out of here. All the trailers are ready to go out, but it's my time to finally go home. 66 hours this week. Definitely not good. Well, it's a good thing, but good for my wallet, not good for my personal health. I'd say mental health. Always, it's like working out for real. Like, you know, I hate doing it, but I love it when I'm done. Oh, I'm free! Yay! Actually, I think I can turn to the right. I've been avoiding this area. They've been building these big warehouses over here, distribution centers for Amazon and UPS and all kinds of things, and it's been turning this road completely red, so I've been coming in from a different direction. But it didn't seem that bad when I came in. Everybody who lives in North Carolina's been, or Southern Virginia's been around that red dirt, clay. They know that stuff is impossible to get off. And these guys come out here in this construction, they're supposed to clean the roads, but they're not really cleaning the roads great. They're just like slacking it everywhere. It sucks. Well, that took a while today. I certainly think to not bring my phone. Alright, see if we can get this thing on down the road a little bit. Not a fun place to be. And definitely too close to anybody. Like riding at nighttime, you want to keep a little bit of a distance. That way if something comes out from underneath his tires or he swerves real quick, you got time to react. Be a gator in the road. If you're a truck driver, you know what that means. As you're doing night riding, you need to look around constantly. You know, should be looking around all the time anyway, but especially at nighttime. See who's coming up on you too quick, where people are, what people are thinking, what can you react to, especially the road. Sides of the roads, look for the green eyes. Which I can't say much because the closest I ever came to hitting a deer on a motorcycle was this bike last year, and I don't know how I didn't hit that deer. Like, I stopped and looked for fur. It was that close, and I didn't have a camera on me then, and if I had it, it was, I don't know what you'd have seen other than just a big brown mark all of a sudden. Like the bike did its job though. I locked it down and it straightened itself right up, and it was in a curve too. I don't know where that deer came from, but he was not waiting around to tell me about it. It was definitely moving. Hopefully nobody's out here doing any crazy stuff like I seen earlier tonight. Somebody on a motorcycle. It looked like a big dual sport, but it had to be something like a Yamaha Tenere or something like that. It was a big bike, and dude came screaming up the highway, and I never saw him coming. I'm in a semi that can only do 65, and he passed me like I was in reverse. You know, playing around the motorcycle. Okay, we've seen it. Yeah, you know, you think you're cool and nobody else gives a shit. And about 3 seconds later, here come a cop doing about 130 trying to catch him, run him down. And 5 miles up the road, there's 7 or 8 cops. I don't know if he got away or if they caught him, but if you had that many cops after you and they weren't giving up chase, yeah, they were dead set after getting him. So I'll probably read about him in the paper tomorrow, next day. Well, does anybody do a paper anymore for like real? I mean, all the papers I look at are online. And I don't know why people want to do that shit anyway. Like, dude, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares if you turn yourself into a greasy spot on the highway. They don't give a shit about the shit. They don't think you're cool. It's just more that, hey, look at me fucking bullshit people do in life, and it just doesn't make any damn sense to me. I mean, we all, somewhat at some point in time, we've been a little bit guilty of it, but, you know, it's one thing when you show off to your friends or flex in front of your friends and all this shit. It's another thing when you're just out here in the middle of everybody else and everybody else's kids going on. So if you're ever watching my channel, and you're looking for crazy speeds or dink wheelies or any of that shit, you ain't gonna find it here. You're in the wrong place. This is just for me, and this is my thoughts, my opinions, and what I'm currently doing with my motorcycles, life in general. That's what's important to me, because you know, I'm getting old, starting to get the arthritis and all kinds of other stuff going on. There's a couple things that I used to like doing that I don't really necessarily do them anymore, because the after effects just seem to last for a while. Don't go away in a day or so. Some things I miss, like working out and shooting bow, I can't do those things anymore. Shoulder's just done. But I can still get out here and ride my bike, so as long as I can do that, I'm going to be pretty happy. But one day I might be too old, or something will happen, I can't do it anymore, and then I'll hopefully have all this footage on video and remember when I did it. I think I mentioned that once before when on the ride in. It's just giving a thorough explanation of what I'm doing. But enjoying the K1600B, the Grand American version. It's a butterly smooth bike. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. There's none of these bikes are absolutely perfect. They all got their little quirks about them and stuff like that. You know, this one does have the left-handed pull, you know, that a lot of the K16Bs do, and I think it has something to do with the windshield. They're finally figuring it out. You know, so if you let go of the handlebar, it'll automatically start tilting to the left a little bit. You know, you just can't sit there holding a straight line. It has that. It's had one recall done on it. There's another one it's up for. It's on the list to get done. You know, for the rear suspension linkage. You know, I've yet to have a problem with mine. I didn't have a problem with my transmission on that other recall, but I'm gonna get them done regardless. You know, I don't carry a whole lot of weight on the bike. I'm not that big. You know, when I was double my wife, she doesn't weigh nothing. So it wasn't like we was putting a big abuse on it anyway to begin with. You know, I actually contemplated really contemplated long and hard about selling this bike. You know, like, you know, what I'd want for it, it'd still be a massive loss, you know, because I know what motorcycles do and don't do. I know what other guys are posting them for. Well, just because they're posting it for that doesn't mean they're getting it. I know what the dealer offered me, and I just, hell no, I'll ride it till the damn wheels fall off before I give it up for that kind of money. You know, I'm not going to lose $15,000, $16,000 on a motorcycle in 3 years. That's just nonsense, especially with 5,500 miles on it now. You know, at the time it was like 51, 52, 3 years old. So I was going to post it this spring for sale, and I just decided, you know what, screw this. You know, it ain't the garage queen. I do love the bike. I use my stuff. I don't abuse it, but I'm not going to sit there and worry about it getting a mark or a ding or little scratches on it, whatever. As long as it's usable and it's running, I'm good with it. I'll keep it clean and I'll keep it serviced, and everything it needs it'll get, but I'm going to use the shit out of it. Get my money's worth out of it for once. You know, people buy stuff and they're like, oh, I don't really want to put miles on it. Well, dude, seriously? What the hell did you buy it for? To look at it? Be cool for a minute? You know, like, I can understand people saying, well, you know, I want to sell it, well, I can still get a good price for it and buy something else. Okay, I'm guilty of that. I've done that shit, but I'm not doing it anymore. I kind of gave up on that shit because, quite frankly, I don't really like the new that comes out. This is a 2019. The 2022s came out and they had the digital dash. The 23s, like all this digital. I just don't like it. It's cool. My GSA has an all digital dash, but I like a mix. I want some digital and I want some analog too. It just appeals to my generation and my age and what we had growing up and stuff like that. I really like the mix of the two. Yeah, just going one route with me just doesn't seem to do it. Like, that's the one thing I don't like about my GSA, and that's my dream bike to own. I wanted that bike for 30 years. I told this big, long story on Facebook about how I wanted that bike and how I came to even wanting that bike or even knowing that bike existed. And maybe one day I'll make a video and telling that story again. But anybody who's pretty much going to watch this is on my Facebook. You can just go back to when I had my surgery in 2021. You know, it was the week after I finally got my dream bike that, you know, I wrote about it and why I was so excited about it and stuff like that. It's a lot of people actually read it and got a little teary over it. And I was like, well, I was the one that was supposed to be in tears, not you. But yeah, a couple of I posted on the BMW page for that bike, and a lot of them guys read it and commented back to me. It's like, wow, you know, that's incredible, and how that all played out for you and stuff like that. You know, I'm glad you got it. And they got a little choked up. And of course, you know, that's the 10% of the BMW owners. The other 90% are assholes. They are a bunch of smart ass, you know, keyboard warriors, know everything, or they don't know, they just got to say something to be saying something. Oh my God, you thought there was a stigma around Harley Davidson? Oh hell no. The BMW guys are just a little bit worse, in my opinion. You know, I don't really like the stigmas around motorcycles at all. You know, as far as certain riders, certain things. I like cruisers, so you're a fag if you're on a sport bike. Sport bike, you're an old boomer, which I still don't know why boomer's a derogatory term, but it's just this old fart, whatever. Whatever. I mean, people want to talk shit, but I always come down to everything's the justification of one's spending. Like, I spent my money on X, now I gotta justify it to myself that it was the best money you could bid and you can't do it better, so if you bought anything else besides me, you're wrong. No, you know, I had a conversation, you know, talk about with a friend of mine once about, you know, everybody having everything the same. Well, let's say everybody had the same motorcycle, the same car, had to wear the same clothes, everything was the same. What kind of fucking boring ass shit would that be? That would just suck. You know, like, I just don't get it. I like a little bit of variety. Now, my favorite motorcycles, hands down by far, as far as looks go, sport bikes. All about the super sports. Love those bikes. I've owned one super sport. You know, technically, the 600 does qualify as a super sport. You know, I never owned the 1000s. Because there's really no point. Like, I'm not doing track days. And if I'm not taking it to the track, I really can't use it on the street. And I know there's 900 million people that get on YouTube and say exactly the same thing, but they say it because it's true. You just can't enjoy those bikes on the street. Like that bike, that 600RR, that Honda, first gear you go to 60 miles an hour, and then you just, okay, well, I'm at the speed limit, let me just shift. And if you're, you know, a person like me who makes your living with your driver's license, you're pretty much done right there. Now, doesn't mean that I wouldn't just love to left it sitting in the garage up on a pedestal and just go and admire it, because the things are gorgeous. That's everything motorcycle to me, like, that it can be. But here I am on this, you know, basically a Honda Goldwing made by BMW. BMW and Honda really got into a pissing match over the design of these bikes. BMW did it just a touch better, and I mean, you're really splitting some cat hairs. So there's some things I like. I'll do a video about that sometime, what I liked then, and this is also going back to a couple years ago when they were built. So Honda had just redone the Goldwing to make it a relevant motorcycle. Oh. I'm gonna stop here and make an adjustment on this bag. I did something a little bit different coming back than I did going up there, and maybe not been a great idea, but give me a couple minutes and I'll get that figured out. It ain't falling off or anything by no means. It's just I had a towel that I use over the windshield along with that, and I put that towel there. Let's see if I can find a decent place to stop in this rest area, man. It ain't completely angled all to hell.